So hi guys, welcome to my channel update. So first thing I'm going to do is apologise for everything that's happening with the camera. My computer's done updates. Right, so first thing I want to show, because he's running away. If anyone remembers last time I started streaming, I had a little kitten. It has been about 8-9 months, but this is the little kitten now. As you see, he's not used to things, but he's huge. And he weighs an absolute ton. He's going to run away, aren't you? So this is Shadow. Last time you would have seen Shadow, he would have been tiny. He is... Oh! Stupid thing. Right, so... I'm going to try and put this one on there. So, the situation with Shadow is because of my work, I've actually changed jobs. So, what happened... Oh my God, it's been such up and down. Let's go right back to the beginning. So, as some of you may know, I don't tend to sort of talk about my private life too much on camera, but I had a major upset in my life. I lost friends over it, and it was just a terrible time for me, and I just walked away from everything. That situation has resolved itself in the sense of I was alleged to have said some things which I've always claimed my innocence on, and now all of a sudden the truth has come out. These people have come back and they're like, yeah, we've just found out the truth, you were right. Whether that can be repaired fully, I don't know. I'm doing a decent thing and being pleasant, but anyway, that's that issue. There'll be some people I won't be having anything to do with anymore, and some that I'm okay with, and some that I'm thinking about. But that's the reason for the break, primarily, as well as other things. Now, work-wise, I have a few issues in the sense of my schedule. As you all know, I was either trying to get onto or had just got onto Coaches. Excuse me, can't live without my cup of coffee, as you well know. So I'd got on to the Coaches, and that did muck my schedule up. The theory is that I could sit down and film at certain times of the week and get myself ahead. The filming doesn't actually take that long, and the way that I've integrated Stream Deck, I can actually do a lot of my videos I can do in one cut, because I'm pushing buttons to do various effects. So it's simply a case of press a button, the intro starts, the camera cuts, I do stuff, I'm talking, blah blah blah, and provided I can get the whole thing done in one cut without making mistakes, it's usually just one edit. However, it's finding the time to sit down and do it, and like a lot of things, it's far more economical to film, say, 4 or 8 episodes of something in one sitting, because obviously you've got to set everything up, get it all ready, and then you film one, and then you film another episode, then another episode, and then you put everything away. So obviously if you film 4 things, you've saved the setting up time 3 times. However, things didn't work out too well. My time scheduling was not so good, and cut a long story short, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I lost that job, completely and utterly my fault. Now here's the next thing. You have timed this really badly. So because I changed my job, now if there's any cat lovers watching this, you are probably not going to agree with this, but I've had to do the best I can, and it's worked. So because I didn't want Shadow left on his own for too long, I got him a companion in the form of Nymeria. Beautiful cat, wonderful temperament, she was lovely. I could tell you some stories. I do plan to integrate cats and cat stories into my videos at some point, so a lot of these stories, if I tell you anything now, I may tell you again. However, cutting a long story short, Nymeria developed about a month ago some kidney issues which led to anemia. Now the way that my new job works is I spend 3 weeks in London on loan, then I come home for 3 weeks, then I go back to London for 3 weeks, then I have a week's holiday, and then the whole cycle starts again. Now, on the day after I arrived in London, Nymeria had to be taken to the vet and sadly put down. Now, I'm hoping to edit this video, so I'm hoping I'll put some some pictures up. However, I've taken a lot of my pictures on the phone, and I'm not very good at transferring my phone to computer, so I may not put any pictures. If there's no pictures, I do apologise. But I had to have her put down. Now, I have 2 cat sitters, a very good friend and a very good neighbour. The neighbour comes up in the morning, and then she checks everything. She gives them a little bit of dry food, makes sure everything's all topped up, and then she just sits there. Shadow is just a very cuddly cat. He just wants to sit on your lap. He's not cuddly at the moment because we're in the craft room, and I don't let him in the craft room very often because there's just so much going on. But so it's like a big old adventure playground. It's like a theme park to him. You know, you don't get to go to Alton Towers every day, so when you do, you make the most of it. That's pretty much how Shadow is with my craft room. I have to be careful. All will be revealed, but I've got my shoes on and there's squishable things about. So yeah, we lost Nymeria the day after I turned up for London, and that obviously was very upsetting for me. And then I came back 3 weeks. My friend very kindly handled all the cremation and everything, and I got a lovely little casket. But when I came back for my week's holiday, poor old Shadow, he just met me at the door and he just gave this really long, really sad cry, and that just cut me in half. And I just thought, you are so lost and lonely. You know, we spent what, 6 months, 5-6 months developing a friendship with a companion. They did everything together. Their routine was similar, and it was just so good for both of them. And I did say I'm not going to have another kitten, but after seeing Shadow, I'm just like, no, I need to do something. So I did the most potentially stupid thing going, and I'm gonna have to do a cut here. So 1 second. So everybody, if you can see okay, I'd like to introduce you to Spirit. Now Spirit is at the moment, at the time of recording, 11-12 weeks. She was 8 weeks when I got her, which I know many people would say is far too young. And the reason I called her Spirit is because she has a lot of it. She's a funny little bugger. I'll just try and get a close up. Her fur is quite interesting. It's like she's dark brown and black tiger stripes. But as you can see, she's all over the place. So this is how it went. I introduced her on the Wednesday, and I just cat carry her in the kitchen, give Shadow 5 minutes to have a little bit of a sniff, keeping an eye on them all the time in case something went wrong, opened the door for the cat carrier. She just ran straight out. She's like, see, I'm exploring. And then Shadow comes up. Now at this point, Shadow's like 4 times the size of her, so I'm thinking I've really got to keep an eye on them. So he just hisses at or spits at her and clunks her on the head, claws in. You know, it was most definitely a, this is my house, this is my territory. And then he just sat there watching her. She's exploring everywhere, and any time she went close to him, he'd give a bit of a hiss, and maybe a bit of a clunk, but generally was fine. So the first night, I had her shut in the bedroom with me, just to keep them separate, because obviously I can't keep an eye on them when I'm asleep. And yeah, Sorry, I just thought I wasn't recording for a minute. Yeah, so all was good on the first night. Shadow was howling all night because that would have been the first night it would have been the second time I didn't sleep. He didn't sleep with me because I did the same when I got Nymeria. Now the next night, what I was going to do was I was going to shut Shadow in the bedroom with me and shut Spirit out in the main house, let her explore all night. But she just seemed okay, and I thought I'm going to take a bit of a chance. And she actually slept in the bed with me all night, and Shadow slept on top of the bed, which was fine. Now, Thursday night, Friday morning, I was really worried about her because she was just not doing anything, and when she walked with a limp. Now, other than the walking with a limp, just sitting there doing nothing, very lethargic, was very much how Nymeria went. And sorry, bear with me a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's how Nymeria went. And so obviously, naturally, I was quite worried. You know, I've just got her ashes back less than a week earlier. So I've done it again. Yeah, so having just got her ashes back, now I've got a new kitten that does not very well. But now I know YouTube and Google isn't the definitive answer to everything, you know. Oh, I saw it on YouTube, it must be true. But I did a bit of YouTubing and Googling, and it turns out that cats, when they're not well, because naturally cats are both predators and prey, they have to not be seen as being frail, because obviously if they're frail they're a natural target for bigger predators, so they just kind of hide up and they do what they can, and then they just try and make themselves better. Within 24 hours she was, well, I'd got a bit worried because she wasn't eating, so I was feeding her what I would call the cat equivalent of junk food. Just something just to get calories into her. So like these horrible little, ow, that's what Shadow used to do, you know. Shadow used to climb up my leg with his claws out and hurt my leg just like you did. Yeah, so I was feeding her things like Licky Licks and a little, I don't like kitten milk, I know it's bad for them, but you know, she was drinking it, so she was, are you going to jump on there? You're going to jump on my keyboard again, aren't you? Sorry, this is a terrible video, isn't it? Absolutely terrible video. So yeah, and like I say, within about 24 hours, she was fine. Now, I had to go back to work, back to London on the Sunday, and just all of a sudden, she seemed absolutely fine. Now, the plan was, because obviously 4-day introduction, technically speaking, that's way too quick to introduce 2 cats. But Shadow seemed fine with her. He just kind of looked at her as if to say, I want to play, but I don't know how to with you being your size. So now the plan had been that I was going to shut her in the bedroom and reintroduce them after 3 weeks. But I said to my neighbour, I said, I think it's worth keeping them apart. Now, I'd left on the Sunday morning. She comes in later on a Sunday because she goes to church. And I said, look, I'm going to leave the bedroom door open, let them mix with each other, and then if you feel they can't, then you shut them in the bedroom. And she came back from church, she spent a bit of time with him, and she said, no, I'm going to leave the bedroom door open. And I've come back from work yesterday, well, at the time of making this video, yesterday. Do you know what? The relationship, well, we can't work out if it's brother or sister or father and daughter. It's that kind of, he seems to spend a lot of time teaching her things, teaching her that when she wants to attack, she needs to get high ground, but she's play fighting with him like she's the same size. Did you just squeak, missus? That's quite funny. As I'm talking, she's behind the sofa and she just squeaked. And Shadow just got a worried look and went running after her to see if she's alright. You look after her, mister. Oh no, he's chasing her out. Yeah. So they're having a nice little playtime. So anyway, that's absolutely nothing to do with my channel. Well, it is to do with my channel. So the last proper video I made, according to my little spreadsheet, is November 22. So I am so very, very behind. So where are we up to? How's it going to all come back in? So my fire truck, the last video that I made was, I called it issue 49A, for the reason being that they had a part where you get the parts each issue, and really there was one stage where it was like, you've got all these subsections and you now need to put them all together, and it looked a little bit intense, so I made a separate video and called it 49A. So the next video that's coming out is going to be issue 50. Excuse me, keep looking over there. I have a 3-screen setup, and I have my spreadsheet on there, and I have my fancy logo on the middle monitor, and that's my work. I call it my work monitor, and that's my information. I'm going to have to give that a name. So I have all of the parts for the fire truck. I haven't built any of them other than what's on video. So I'm hoping, I've got a few extra days off this week. I should have been coming home, what it is, Friday at the moment, at the time of filming. I was supposed to be coming home on the Sunday, but in London I got a long weekend, so I just went, do you know what, I'll pay 30 quid, I'll get the overnight coach, and I'll come home a few days early. So I'm hoping to get some filming done, and then we'll continue from issue 50. The Eddie Stobart, I think I've done issue 57 on my channel, which means we're up to issue 58. Now, when I got home, I received, I think it's 92, 90, was it 91, 92, 93, 94? Somewhere round about that stage. Tell you what, let's do another cut. If I can find the stop button on this. Oh, my mouse has just gone mad. Right, back in a sec. Right, my apologies for that, guys. So, I have just received, yesterday, 91, which looks like rare bits for the trailer, perhaps, but it says long vehicle on it. 92, which looks like, oh, my favourite, a wheel. 93, my favourite, a tyre with no, oh no, it's got a wheel in it as well. And 94, without opening it, all I can really say, it's two long red bits. The left chassis beam, and it looks like the next one will be the right chassis beam. So does that mean we're working on the trailer? Anyway, so I've got about 30 plus issues to catch up on. So obviously I'm going to reintroduce the Eddie Stobart first, because there's a lot of catch up. Now, when I do catch ups, I always say, well, what I'll do is I'll do 2 issues per video, and it doesn't always work out like that. So what I'm going to plan to do is crack on with the issues. If they're short issues, there'll be 2, maybe even 3 issues, and if they're long issues, I'll try to make them sort of a standard length. Excuse me, I've got an itchy ear. My body just seems to not want to play today. I've had hay fever, I've had big blockage up here, and my ears have gone, and it seems to be as you fix one thing, something else goes wrong. But that's my life. I'm just going to move my chair up. That's a bit better, isn't it? So yeah, that's the Eddie Stobart. That'll come back in, and then I'll start, once I've got a good, cause what I basically need to do is film a good 4 or 8 issues when I'm on holiday, because I could bang all the issues out in a day. and then so I need to really be planning on a 10-week cycle. When I'm working in Kilmarnock, don't know if I should have said that, company I work for is based in Kilmarnock. They're long shifts, but I do 5 days a week, so I always get 2 days off a week, so I can do a limited amount of filming. But if I aim to get everything done during my holiday, that's going to work best for me. Fire truck will be the same thing, where, you know, maybe I'll do one day where I try and get sort of 4 or 8 issues filmed of, say, the Eddie Stobart, and then the next day I'll get the fire truck done. I have also started a new part work. I haven't even opened it yet. I suspect some of you might know what's coming. This is my latest package, and as you can see, it's from Fanhome. So I will just give you a couple of seconds just to guess what it is. It is the Infinity Gauntlet, and I've just received issue 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Now, I must confess I've not seen anyone's build videos on it. I did see someone's channel update. I've forgotten his name now. Building with the Boys as a channel I do like watching. Basically, the description I've got from him interpreting is it's huge very quickly, but not that much to do in each issue. So that's good news in the sense of catching up. The problem I have with being caught up on builds is that with me having to work in a 10-week cycle and these packages coming monthly, I can only do what I've got. So, you know, there you go. But the Infinity Gauntlet will be coming to my channel. The exact date at the moment I cannot say. Ecto 1 has restarted. I'm so stoked for that. Now, when I had my, let's call it for simplicity, mental health breakdown, the Ecto 1, I started doing that off camera. So there's a lot that I haven't done. So I'm tempted to just keep that as an off camera project. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe if I get 10,000 people coming on this and making comments, please do the Ecto 1, I might. But obviously I can't rebuild the bits I've already built. I don't think you can see. Oh yeah, if you look about there, that's the front of it. It's hidden behind. This room is a mess. I will explain why this room is a mess. But yeah, so the Ecto 1 is back, and it's funny, I've heard stories of people throwing their Ecto 1 away, and I nearly went down the route of finishing the build. There's a couple of mod companies that have put together the rest of the issue as a 3D print. Now the problem I had, I don't know if I'd fallen behind or something, but I haven't finished, there's 2 rear wings, and I hadn't finished the other rear wing. Had I got one more pack, then I believe that next pack is all on the roof, and I could have finished it via a mod company. For some reason I never threw it away. I think I was kind of thinking what to do, and I thought maybe I could get all of the bit on the roof and display it strictly in one way. So yeah, obviously the rear wing was missing, but that's tucked up behind. You know, if I put the display case next to a wall, then you can't see it, and then obviously finish what I can. As luck would happen, about 2 or 3 months ago, I found out it was continuing, so I'm like, yeah, sign me up. So the state of play with the Ecto 1 is I have paid for the next pack. It's been dispatched, and it should be with me in roughly a week, because it was about a week ago that it was dispatched. So the Ecto 1 is on its way. Another part work that I've got, I don't know what to do with it. It's the Warhammer one, the Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I bought that. One of my friends who helps cat sit, she has a daughter who's quite arty, and she'd seen some of my figures and she said that's something that she's interested in. And I call her the cat whisperer because she can do things with my cats that I can't. Nymeria, bless her, she's not much of a cuddly cat. She's very friendly and lovely, and she'll come and sleep with you, and she'll do things on her own terms. But she's the sort of cat I couldn't pick up. You'll pick her up and cuddle her and she'll run off. She'll just come in. I've got so many photos of her holding her like a baby, and so I always call her the cat whisperer. But she's done good things. So I said, look, I'll tell you what, I'll get this part work and we can do it together. It looks like that's not really going to happen. So I was kind of tempted to stop the build. I've started painting projects on here before, and sometimes they can just get too time consuming. But I'm thinking maybe I could do this one. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to cancel it. And then now I paid for premium, and my first premium package arrived today, this week, and it's quite amazing. So now I'm tempted to continue it. So I'm thinking of maybe looking at that, and I mean, it could be something that perhaps I could take to the hotel with me. I have actually built up like a travel model kit. So all of this I bought like a cheap airbrush, and I've got some little drawers, and it's got sandpaper and some brushes and this, that and the other. And I've been doing a model aircraft in the hotel. Unfortunately, the depot that I've now been moved to, the hours are long and I don't get a lot of free time. Plus, it takes up one massive suitcase all on its own. And I can't bring 2 suitcases back to Scotland with me on the train. So what I'm thinking of doing is abandoning the idea of doing scale models in London and do something simpler. For example, figures. So I'm looking into the possibility of not doing the figures to my standard, because I like to try and push them beyond. I'm going to risk of getting a bit boring here. You've got kind of basically 3 standards of painting. You've got just a basic paint, which is you paint this bit blue and this bit gold and that bit silver, and the sort of weapons are done silver, and you just do the base colours. So you have and it's a bit cartoony, but you have a figure on the tabletop that all the colours are represented. Then you've got desktop, what we call tabletop standard. So you put a bit of shading on, and you know they look better, but they're not superb. And then obviously you've got I don't know the technical word for it, but you take it a step further where they look just a little bit better than that. So maybe, you know, if you follow the instructions in the magazine, you will do them to tabletop standard, which is base colours plus a little bit of shading. They don't look amazing, but they look good. So I'm thinking maybe of just following the magazine and just doing them to tabletop standard. So we'll see how that goes. The only trouble with the way the magazine does it is because of when they give you the paints, you might get one magazine, and issue 1 might be, here's some figures, let's put them together, and that's the end of that issue. Then you get issue 2, you get some more figures, so they'll say, like, put these together. Issue 3 might be, here's your first colour of paint, so you'll paint these, and then you might go back to some in a previous issue, and then maybe issue 8 you'll get a new colour, so then you need to go back to some of the previous models. And what's going to happen is over time you're going to end up with all of these models. So the early issues, there's not going to be a lot to do, and then suddenly you get to about issue 12 or 15 or something like that, and there's so much to do. So we'll see how that goes. So what else is there? There is now, as some of you may remember, when I moved from Kent to Scotland, I had some stuff in a lockup. This would have been about a year. Actually, this is around about the time when I fell out with my friends. Now, what had happened, I'd hit some financial issues, and I couldn't afford to pay for the lockup. So, as per their rules, they stopped the lockup and they disposed of everything that was in the lockup. Now, I'd got all of the really important stuff. I think there was a 3D printer in there, because I didn't manage to get all of them up. But one of the things that was in there was my Harley Davidson, which I couldn't finish anyway because he was at Model Space. They'd mucked up the last pack. I'm still waiting for that last pack. But the Harley Davidson was down there, that's gone. And the Millennium Falcon I hadn't finished, but I had all of the issues and the model down there, so I've lost the Millennium Falcon. Nice model, really, really nice, really, really huge. Suddenly I get an email yesterday from Fanhome, just at the point where I'm thinking, you know what, I'm spending too much on part work, so I need to cut back. Suddenly I get this email, oh, we're doing the Millennium Falcon. Now, from what I can see, it's the Millennium Falcon, the one that was released by DeAgostini donkeys years ago. I mean, I did it. It was already a finished part work when I started it. Same as they do the R2D2 and the Back to the Future DeLorean, and they're all finished part works which they're still doing. Now, I'm slightly skeptical about doing old part works, because will they have them in production all the way to the end? But I liked that Millennium Falcon. I really did like it. So it's a question of, do I want to... I mean, I bought every single issue. So my Millennium Falcon, if I do it, it will have cost me twice as much as you guys, because I'll have bought two to get one. So that's something I'm thinking about. Do I want to do it? It is a big model, so it can only be done at home. I think it's about this big when it's finished, but it's a good model. I really did enjoy it, and when I did it before, I didn't have the confidence to repaint it. Are you having fun, Shadow? You are really enjoying this playground, aren't you? He's climbing up stuff. He just loves this craft room. But yeah, it's... Anyway, so that's that. Now, before I go on to a Lifey update, I want to tell you all, guys, I don't know how this applies outside of the UK, but there's two shops called Aldi and Lidl's. Forget Aldi for the minute, but let's focus on Lidl's. They have, what do they call it, middle aisle. And you go in, you know the old jokes, I went into Lidl's to buy some milk, and I came out with a scuba diving outfit and a drill. You know, that's how the middle aisle works. They have something every week. Now, something they seem to do maybe annually, I always miss out. And I saw a video and they said, right, this is what's in the middle aisle this week. And it just happened to be I was off yesterday, I had some money, I went down to Lidl's. So, for £6 each, you can get one of 6 kits. Now, I've only bought 5 because one of the kits is a Spitfire, and I'm going to cause a lot of controversy here. The Spitfire is not my favourite aircraft in the world in terms of scale modelling. Plus, I've got the 1:18 scale from Hachette, I've got the 1 to 48 scale from Tamiya, which I'm converting into a scale. It's actually going to be a 1 to 4 scale version of the Hachette one. I've got the 1 to 24 scale Airfix, the old one, not the new one. I also have the 1 to 72 scale, which is horrible. I don't like it. It was a starter kit, and starter kits are what they say. They are designed for young kids who have never done the hobby before to come in and start something, and the Spitfire starter kit for that purpose is fantastic. For someone who is experienced, wants the detail, wants to put as much effort into it as they can, it's not a great kit. There's no detail in the cockpit, and it's right. But so I didn't buy the Spitfire because I'm, you know, I like variety. So I bought one of each one other than the Spitfire. So I've got 5. So let's start with this. Not the most exciting thing ever, but some of you might go, fantastic. So this is £6. It is a starter set. It doesn't say starter set on it, but I know it's a starter set because you get 1 brush and you get 4 paints, and you get 1 scheme only. You never get a choice of schemes with these. And just as importantly, you get your Airfix miles. Do you get your Airfix miles? What do you call them? I'm calling them air miles. I think that's, yeah. It says Airfix Club. But anyway, but as you can see, look, it's skill 1 out of 4. And it says on the box, ages 8+, and that is exactly what it is. And it's a good, you know, this is something I've never built. 1 to 72 isn't, Shadow, what are you doing? This is my naughty cat for you. So he's going to break everything, and he won't be happy till it's all broken, will you, mister? Hey, come on. Come on. Not there, because that's got me plastic model kits up there. My Tomcat's up there, and you're going to break it. See, look, there goes the ship. You're just destructive. He just loves exploring. So, yeah, sorry. So there's my Nat. Now, the next one I got is the Curtis Tomahawk. Is that 11B or is that 2B? I don't know. But this is, again, it's age 8+. It comes with 4 paints. And they do come with glue as well. Sorry, I forgot to say they come with glue. Now, I don't rate the paints. I'll be honest with you. I don't. They're not fantastic. Have you finished? Thank you. This is the joys of having a cat. But you know, it's a kit. It's you know, it does the job. And if you're 8 years old and never modelled, absolutely amazing. £6. I mean, they're birthday prices, aren't they? Right, the next two are, now let's show you this one. I'm really interested in doing a Jeep. Dragon Models do a 1 to 6 scale Jeep in plastic, and I believe there is or there will be a part work the Willys Jeep. Now what I was looking at is, because the part work is 1 to 6 scale, obviously the advantage of doing the part work is that you get all your pieces every week or every month. They're ready to go. Have you finished? That was the kitten. That was the little kitten then. He's teaching you bad habits. Come here. Come here and be thrashed. Come here. No, she's run off. So yeah, obviously you get your pieces every month. Get your screwdriver or glue or whatever you need. Bang, away you go. For about 1/3 of the cost, you can buy a big massive model kit, but obviously you need to assemble and paint, or paint and assemble. so there's a lot more skill involved. But you'll get the difference in the results will be, one will be a lot heavier because it's made of die cast, but obviously for much cheaper. So yeah, anyway, off topic now. This I thought is probably, for what you get, the best kit out of all of the ones available, and it's the Willys Jeep, because you not only get the Jeep, but you get 2 trailers with it. And this particular one is from the 6th Airborne Division, British Army, Normandy, June 1944. And you get all that. And I just thought, fantastic. So, now the last 2 that I got, I'm involved with some groups, and I see these guys building tanks. Tanks is not something that has ever appealed to me. But what does appeal to me is the weathering. Now that I've got into weathering aircraft, there's kind of, my brain is going, tanks. You know, you can do clean tanks or you can do dirty tanks. And apparently tanks has a completely different skill set from aircraft. There's a noise outside. Oh, no, it's cats being destructive. Because that's what cats do best, isn't it? Destroy things. Yeah, so apparently tanks have a completely different skill set. So that's kind of put me off. Someone has said to me, the best way to do tanks is to go out and buy a kit. Maybe, you know, there's some kits out there that are really, really good. Apparently the Tamiya tank, and most of the Tamiya tanks, they pretty much put themselves together. But there are a couple of tanks that will put you off scale modelling for life. So I saw these in Lidl's and I thought, let's have a little go and let's see what they're like. So I have got the Sherman Firefly. Again, it's got all the paints and a brush and some glue, and it's 1:72 scale, which will go with the Jeeps and that and the aircraft. And the other one I got is the Tiger 1, and this one's quite interesting. It's only got 3 paints with it, but look, for a total of, my masthead has gone £30, which £30 is cheaper than a lot of kits that, see, I buy single kits in 1 to 48 for more than 30 quid. I've got 2 tanks, I've got a Jeep and two airy planes, and look, they're completely different from each other. Yeah, there's nothing even similar about them, is there? And that will give me 5 brushes to muck around with. I mean, the brushes have got to be worth 2 or 3 quid each, haven't they? Because hobby brushes aren't cheap anymore. You do get some, I mean, one thing I haven't done with Humbrol paints, I've only ever used Humbrol paints. As a kid I used enamels, and I used them straight out of the pot and away I went. These are acrylics. Now I've only ever used acrylics watering them down or thinning them down with water, and I had issues with that. The reason I did use water was because I did the modelling on the budget series, so I tried to keep the costs down, so I didn't use thinners. I do now have thinners. Do I have my actual, here we go, no, that's retarder. Oh, I need thinners. That's the only thinners that I've got. This is my homemade thinners. So maybe that'll be a little bit better with the Humbrol paints. Maybe by the time I've thinned them down with thinners rather than water, I'll end up going, wow, I love these paints. So at least I'll have some usable paints, and I don't know how many duplicate paints I'll have. It looks like every single kit comes with black. Yep, so I'll have 5 pots of black. I'll have a yellow. I could use a yellow actually. I'm guessing browns. 53, that's gunmetal. There's a few colours I know of by heart. 53, I think that's gunmetal. 94 looks like a sandy colour. I've got another 53. 26. 29, 60, which is a sort of a red, 80s. Do you know what? There's only 2 duplicate colours out of all of that. 5 kits. I'll end up with 5 pots of black, and I'll end up with 2 pots of 53, and the rest I'll end up. So, in all fairness, for 30 quid, I mean, if you were a young kid and you could get 5 relatives, well, 6 because they do the Spitfire, you've now got yourself 5 kits. So that's got to be at least, what, 5 weeks worth of work. And then you'll have a variety of brushes. I don't know if you get different sizes or if they give you a standard size 2. Usually they give you a size 2 brush, but we'll have a look. Do you guys want me to do an unboxing? I'm not over keen on unboxings because they don't thrill me, because a lot of videos I watch to learn how to do stuff and see what other people have done. An unboxing is like, here's the box, this is the content, and you know, with them being starter kits, there isn't going to be an awful lot in there. There's not going to be options or anything. But you tell me, do you want me to do unboxings? So yeah, I mean, like, you could get 6 relatives to buy you a kit, and now you've got yourself a decent little set, haven't you? You'll have 6 brushes, a variety of paints, probably enough paints there that you could perhaps mix the colours up a little bit if you want something different, because that's the thing with modelling, is that you need to buy all this equipment to start with, and then, like, say you might need 10 different colours for one kit, and then when you buy a second kit you might need 10 colours, but you already own 4 of them, so you buy 6, and then now you got 16. So then you buy another kit and you might need 12 different colours, but you already own 10 of them, so you've only got to buy 2. And if you plan your stages, then obviously the costs are reduced even more, because, like, if you bought a Spitfire, say, you'll get all the colours you need for the Spitfire. If your second kit is a Hurricane, I would guess you probably wouldn't need any extra colours. And then if you then use the money saved from not buying paint on the Hurricane to perhaps put that towards a Lancaster or a Wellington, again, you've probably got most of the colours for it. You probably just need different colours for maybe the interior, or you might need more metal colours. But, you know, if you plan things, if you go from a Messerschmitt 109 to a Spitfire to a F14 Tomcat, then obviously all the different colours you're going to have to buy is obviously going to rack the cost up. But yeah, anyway, I waffle on too long. I mean, this one section is 30 minutes, so this video must be over an hour. So right, guys, anyway, that's where I am. So I suppose if I titled this video, it would be something along the lines of hope for my channel recovery. So yeah, so there's a couple of things I haven't mentioned. One is the Mosquito and the F14. I'm going to be honest with you with the F14. I'm abandoning that, and I'm going to redo another one later. I think I jumped in too much too quick. The Mosquito, I can't remember what stage I'm at that, but I will pick up the Mosquito. That was a really nice build so far. And then I've been buying scale model kits. I think anyone will. Let me show you some really good ones. As you may know, I've got the B-17, which I'm going to be turning into an assembly ship. So that's an exciting project. I have got, I'm not going to show you much more under my desk, but I recently went to the Scottish National Model Show, whatever it's called, and I saved up hard for that. I wanted to go last year and I just didn't have the money for it. Now this year, I knew it was coming, I knew when it was coming. It happened to come on my holiday, So I went. It was a 2-day show, but I went on the Saturday, and 60-mile drive from my house, and I actually saved up £600 to go to that show. The theory being that if I can get enough models to last me a year, which I've probably already got enough models to last me 3 years, but obviously you get a lot of things discounted at shows, so the money I will save at the show will then keep me going for another year, by which time the next show comes up. But I spent most of my money on books. I also had a problem with my car, and I had to use the money from my... So I actually probably went with about 450 quid. And I'd spent nearly £200. The very first stall I came to was a bookstall, and I spent nearly £200 just on books. But let me show you what I did buy. This isn't everything, because I put a lot of them into storage. So one thing that I put into storage and I can't show you is a US aircraft carrier tug set by Revell. It looks a bit fun. So this first one, Kinetic made their debut at this show, and as you know, I'm a big fan of US Navy aircraft. So you're gonna fall. You're stuck now, aren't you? You don't know whether to go up or down. There you go, you come down. That solved that problem for you. He's just climbed up a bag, got to the top, the bag's all wobbly. He doesn't know whether to carry on going or jump down. While he's thinking about it, the bag just falls down and he's on the floor. But, you know, this is Joy of Cats. Can you see now why I actually... There's a couple of channels I watch and they've got cats, and they're doing all these edits because the cat comes and interferes while they're doing it. And I think actually that's lovely. So we'll see. Anyway, so back to this. So I bought this and I saw it and I'm like, I need it. I need it. And I literally went up to the guy and I went, I want it. And he was automatic Spieley's going, yeah, it should be, I'm making the prices up, I can't remember what it cost, but he said it should be £80, you can have it for 50. And I'm sitting there going, I don't care, here's my money, I just want to know how much it is so I can give you the money. So I got that because it's US Navy, and I love it. It's a brilliant aircraft. Now this, I feel quite lucky. This was £30. This is the PV1 Ventura. It's a Revell kit, which I don't rate Revels that high, and I think it's, as you can see from the box, it's quite old. And I think it's been opened because the box has been cut. Do you know what? I haven't opened this. Let's have a quick look, shall we? It looks alright. Do you know what? For 30 quid, the size of the kit. I mean, look at... Where's the fuselage gone? This is, oh, I see it come. Oh my god. Fuselage comes in pieces. So there's 4 pieces to the wings. So there's the wing. There's my hand compared to the wing. So it's going to be... It's going to have a wingspan of about that. So it's a sizable kit. And the decals look quite interesting. It's got this kind of octopusy on it. You can see it there, look. So that'll be a bit of a challenge because I'm not quite so strong with decals that go around corners and round things. But you know, it'll be fun doing it. Now, the one that I have been after, I don't know if this is an old or a new kit. It says $75.99 on it, and I'm pretty sure I got it for cheaper than that. But for those of you in the know, look at this, how much crap I've got on my desk. For those of you in the know, Is it Tamiya have released the F-35A, which is the US Air Force version, and I think you can get the RAF version, but the version that I've always been after is the Marines version, and it's got beast mode loadout and 2 weapons trial. Anyway, so I got this. So I don't know if it's a good kit or not, but you get 5 different versions. All you get US Marines, RAF 207th operational conversion. So you get the RAF Marham version, and you get another RAF Marham version, and then you've got Marina Militare 4th Gruppo Aeromobile. I don't know what country that is. Would that be Italian? Marina, that's obviously a Navy version, isn't it? Marina or Marines. Mary Star Grot. I don't know. I do not know what country that is. Anyway, I don't know if that's a good kit or not, but until Tamiya, because I believe the Tamiya one is excellent. So once they release the Marine version of that, then obviously I'll have a good one. But yeah, we'll see how that Italiari one goes. So far too many projects, far too many aircraft ready to go. What have I got? Oh yeah, I've got that. Hang on, I've cocked up. Oh no, I have cocked up. Well, I haven't cocked up. So I just showed you this. This is how bad I keep track of things. So I showed you that, the PV1 Ventura, and I've just noticed in my stash I have got a new release by Academy, the PV1 Solomon Islands Theatre version. So I haven't cocked up because it's a different version, but I've got the same aircraft twice, so that's alright. That's a completely different colour scheme, completely different, because obviously this is the Solomon Islands version. So yeah, so I've got the same thing twice, so I don't know, maybe use one to practice with. Who knows, maybe I can just wreck it. At that, 30 quid, you know, that's not much. Anyway, look guys, I've waffled on too much. Diamond painting, I have a theory about that. That could be something I do at the hotel. One of the biggest issues I've got is, because I'm a bus driver, buses operate 7 days a week. I don't get the same day off every week, so I can't really do a regular show. Plus the hotel Wi-Fi isn't the best. But what I'm thinking of doing is picking up a live once a week on whatever day I can. But what I'll do is, because the beauty of the diamond painting is that I can roll it up, pop it in my bag, it takes up so much less space. And I'm wondering if maybe the easiest way to do that is to film myself doing one square and then take a photo of each square, put them together, put a bit of background music. You'll have a short video, you'll see me and then it'll go beep, 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 until it's all done. Do the review and everything all in one, and then obviously but the main thing about that one is that I first of all got to learn how to transfer photos from my camera to my PC. I know that's really easy, but I've done something to my phone where it won't link up with a USB cable. I'm wondering if maybe the easiest way to do it will be to get a Bluetooth thingy for my computer, and then I can just send them by Bluetooth. But anyway, so I think that's me. I'm pretty sure that's everything. Model tips, I was trying to do a series on that, but actually planning out a series is quite tricky, so I might just do one every now and again when an idea comes up. The fire truck we've covered, the DP we've covered, the Eddie Stowbar. Scale models, the scale models will be coming back, I promise you. But it's integrating them. When I go from nothing to everything, the way I'll probably end up doing it is I will start the weekly series on one thing, and then about 4 weeks in I might introduce another one, and then 2 or 3, 4 weeks later I'll introduce another one. So it won't just suddenly be 1 week there's no content at all and the next week you've got 7 days worth of content. I'm not going to do that. Modelling on a budget, I'm going to kind of incorporate that with model tips. We're going to look at things you can do. Oh, here's something exciting, guys. Next week I'm going on an airbrushing tutorial course. The main company that I buy my models from, MJR Models, Mike we call him, Model God, that's another thing we call him. Awesome guy. He runs these periodic courses. Now I consider myself possibly... What are you doing, guys? You're ruining my life. Both of you. But they're having so much fun. It's like Alton Towers for them. Oh, I haven't mentioned the room, have I? So, yeah. I'm trying to think where I was. Forgot what I was saying. So yeah, I'm going on this airbrushing course. I do consider myself maybe intermediate. I don't know how much I'll learn from this course. Probably more than most, because I've known expert people who are very good. They go on courses and they go, oh, there's something I learned. It's absolutely game changing. Now, I'm probably doing, because I'm self-taught on the airbrush, everything I learned was from YouTube, so he's probably going to undo a lot of things that I know, and then I'm going to learn properly. And it's 75 quid for this course, and refreshments are available, given to you for free, so I can't go wrong, can I? All I've got to do is get there. It's a 4-hour drive, so that'll be a long old day. But yeah, so I'm going on this course, so obviously anything I learn I'll use on my channel. So yeah, one last thing. So as you guys may well know, I used to have a lodger. December he moved out. That's fine, you know. I won't say anything bad about my lodger apart from the way he cooked. As anyone who used to watch my lives, you'd regularly have a smoke alarm going off, because he fries things and he has the cooker on full, or he's not on at all. But he's moved out, and because I was on better money, I always said to him, look, I don't need a lodger anymore. I'm not going to kick you out, but when you move out, that's it, I'm done with lodgers. So the living room, obviously I've got my craft table in here. As you see, the background is the same, but I don't need a massive bedroom. I'm not lodging in houses anymore. My stuff is being spread throughout the house. So my bedroom is the small bedroom in the house. It's all I need: bed, wardrobe, drawers, you know, all the bedroomy stuff. I don't watch TV in bed. I watch TV in the living room, and I've got one in this room as well. So the master bedroom, I don't really need that space so much, but it's a nice cozy little room. So I've actually turned the master bedroom into a living room. So I've got my TV, I've got a sofa, I've got my PlayStation, all the essentials. I've even got a dining table now. I've always wanted a dining table. So the living room is now, temporarily, it's a junk room. But I'm actually going to turn this into a workshop, so I'm going to have one room. So this table I'm at the moment is going over there in the corner, which I won't show you because it is quite literally a jumble sale in here. So where I am now is I'm gonna build just basic worktops, and I can put bits of equipment on there, the more serious stuff, and I can build some shelves. I can put some 3D printers in there, and then I'll have a nice big floor space. But over there will be model making, and over here will be more heavy I'll have stuff to cut and shape wood with. I'm not an expert carpenter, but I can do the basics. So any projects that involve that will be done over here. And one thing I really want to do is the R2-D2. I lost some of the pieces when I had the lockup. When you finished, I've got 2 destructive kittens at the moment, so it's if you hear background noise, I'm really sorry, but I won't change those kittens for anything. I've always said they've solved mental health issues I didn't even know I had. But yeah, so I lost quite a bit of the R2-D2 bits because they were in the lockup when that got reclaimed. So I'm pretty much going to have to start the R2-D2 again. And that's going to be a slow process because I'm away from home 6 weeks, 60% of the time. So yeah, it's but I am going to do that. And one project I really want to do, and it's very advanced and not for years in the future, I want to build a full-size Dalek. And I think it'd be quite simple, because all you need is a motor, some way to sit inside it. It's mostly external, isn't it? And then some kind of voice changing unit. And I could ride around in my Dalek. And I think that's cool, but that's a bit pie in the sky at the moment. Right, guys, so yeah, that's it. So lots of work to do in the workshop, which I'm hoping to start on this week. And then I'll be making some basic benches. I'll probably film a lot of that once I'm building stuff. But yeah, the desk needs to be moved over the other side of the room. That'll give me, so basically half of the living room will become model making and half will be actual workshop. And then yeah, and I'm desperately trying to save up loads of money. The reason I've done this job, when I'm in Scotland, I get a typical Scottish bus driver's wage, which, because I'm doing so many part works, isn't actually enough to live on. When I'm in London, I earn more than twice what I'm on in Scotland. I get bonuses, I get higher rate of pay, I get hotel room paid and food bonuses and stuff like that. So I take home over twice as much as I do when I'm in Scotland. So basically the way it works is when I'm in Scotland, when I'm in London, I save loads of money. Then I'm in London again, I save loads of money. Then I'm in Scotland and I spend some of the money that I've saved, but not all of it. So it's a kind of take a step back to take 2 steps forward. Because of the house prices in Scotland, realistically, I mean, I'm 50 years old. I could realistically, in a few years' time, get a mortgage for 10 years and pay as much mortgage as my rent, and I can own my house before I retire, which I've got to do that, haven't I? Anyway, that's something else. That's another story. But yeah, that's why I'm doing the London job. So I'll do that. Well, plus the fact I didn't have a job. I lost my job. Like I said, through my own fault. Hello, Spirit. You can come up. That's it. You've just timed this perfect. I'm just about to finish my video, and you've come up to say goodbye. So here's another look at Shadow. Spirit, sorry. She is all black. I picked her because she's all black. Apparently a lot of people don't like black cats because they think they're bad luck. And I just think differently. I'll tell you what, I'll leave you with this saying. So they say it's if a black cat crosses your path, it's unlucky. How's about this for theory? How do you know that black cat isn't warning you of the bad luck ahead? You're ignoring it, and then when you get the bad luck, you're blaming the black cat for it. So there you go. Yes, you can see me up on the screen, can't you? Yep, this is my life. Right, guys, so I'm going to disappear now before this cat completely destroys my room, because she's destroying a helicopter I've got. But look, take care, guys. I'm sorry for the bad editing and stuff. Tell you what, can I do the... I'll do some edits, but I'll do a proper outro. Right, take care, guys.